Hello Uplanders, I'm YK2012, founder of the Upland Guide, and I'm going to let you know when I think Los Angeles will sell out. The city release happened about 12 hours ago from the time that I made this video, and I want to give you guys my prediction. There has been lots of speculation that it could be days or weeks. I don't think Los Angeles will sell out ever, and I'm going to explain to you the reasoning behind that in this video. The first thing to note is just the sheer size of Los Angeles. Los Angeles is so big that it is being released in two halves. The first half, which was released just 12 hours ago, is the southern half, which is approximately everything below my cursor here, including all this area south of Long Beach. And the second half, which is going to be released 1 week after the south part of LA, is the north half, which is everything in this area over here. So just the sheer size is just astronomical. In addition to that, the prices in Los Angeles are much higher than you would expect in cities like Berkeley and Alameda, which is part of Oakland, and the Bronx, which was released 2 cities before Los Angeles. So the price per property, or the price per up squared, is going to be a lot more across the board in Los Angeles compared to other places. This essentially means that if you have a fixed amount of UPEX that you want to spend, let's say 100,000 UPEX, you will be able to buy fewer properties on average compared to what you would have been able to in some of these other cities. Take that into account that there are also properties that are very large in Los Angeles, so the prices of those properties are going to be more. Moving forward, even with the influx of new players coming into Upland, and hopefully there will be even more coming soon, we can expect further city releases in the near future. I don't think that Upland is going to wait for Los Angeles to be completely minted before they open other cities. If we look at a city like Chicago, that took 6 months in order to completely mint out. And the number of players playing when Chicago was released was much less than half of the number of players there are now during the release of Los Angeles. So even when Chicago was not fully minted, they continued to release about 4 or 5 new cities after that, and that led to Chicago taking a long time to mint out. I think here we can also expect a lot of new cities coming in the upcoming months. I don't think that there is any need for every single property in every single city to be sold out. If, let's say, in a month and a half's time, there's going to be another city to be released after Los Angeles, then people are going to want to mint there as well, because there are lots of great opportunities during new city releases. And that's going to give people more options. They're going to say, well, I can either buy a property in a new city, or I can get something in Los Angeles. And as new cities open up, people will stop buying in Los Angeles because they'll say, well, there's nothing really great around, because all of the good stuff has already been bought up. A lot of the best stuff has been bought up already, even within the first hour or 2 hours of the release. So a number of weeks and months down the road, it's going to be less attractive to want to own a property in Los Angeles when there's still so many around and other options. The next reason why I think that it will take a very long time to mint out Chicago, if at all, is because there are going to be more things that you can spend your UPEX on. Right now, just last week, there was the opening of metaventures, and you could buy block explorers through metaventure stores in both Fresno and San Francisco. We can expect other stores coming in the future, and other opportunities for people to spend their UPEX on. There's another feature completely about cars, which is going to be coming out hopefully in the next number of months as well. And for cars, you will need to have block explorers, and these block explorers will be the drivers of your cars. If you're not familiar with what block explorers are and how they will be utilized, take a look at the video in the upper right hand corner where I dive deeper into introduction to block explorers and how they will be used. So with other options of cars coming into the metaverse, legits, whether it be the NFL player legits or maybe some other partnership coming out, as well as all these stores, means that people have other options aside from just properties to buy. So not only are you going to be asking yourself in the future, do I want to get a property in Los Angeles or a property in some of these other cities that are being released, but also you might want to buy a car. You might want to buy a block explorer. So there are going to be many, many more options. And with all those options, people are going to think twice about minting a property in Los Angeles. And even more so about buying a property on the secondary market. Historically, new players have been able to mint properties, small properties, whether they be FSA, and sell them to some of these bigger whales, and the city would quickly get sold out. And until Upland would release another city, there would be a lack of supply of properties. And until now, there hasn't been anything else to really spend your UPEX on aside from primarily properties. So people would be buying more and more properties on the secondary market because there is a lack of supply. Now with the release of Los Angeles, there is a ton of supply. So I think that this just evens out the playing field, and it balances out the supply versus the demand. And this will bring prices down across the board, in my opinion, at least for the short term. And new players who were hoping to just mint properties and sell them for huge markups is also going to be a little bit more difficult because of all the options people have. Maybe they would rather mint a property next door instead of buying one at a markup. The third reason, I can expect that somewhere down the line there will be additional changes to the property earnings. Just prior to the release of Los Angeles, the earnings of properties were changed from 17.28% to 14.5%. And this is because of the growing economy in Upland, and based on the previous point that I had made about there being additional options and avenues for people to earn UPEX and US dollars in Upland. So as property earnings continue to change in the future, I don't know when that will be or what that will be, but I'm estimating that there will be further reduction in that in the medium to long term. It makes it less desirable to own hundreds, if not thousands, of properties in Upland. Clearly there were original players to Upland who own hundreds, if not thousands, of properties. I myself at this point own about 320 properties as well, and I think that that is a lot. The majority of my properties are located in cities that have been completely sold out and sold out quickly. So if new players want to go into that city, I believe that prices will continue to rise. But I think cities like Los Angeles, Nashville, which is yet to be completely minted out, and even Kansas City, it will take very, very long for these cities to be completely minted. And again, we can expect to have dozens more cities, hopefully in this year of 2022, and even moving forward. So the amount of options people will have will be endless. And that will lead people to think again, do I want a property or a block explorer or a car, or what am I going to be doing with my UPEX? I hope this video gave you some insight as to what you can expect moving forward in Upland. You can take a look at the link in our description below for other information about different types of strategies one can adopt in the metaverse to think long term, because short term I believe it's going to be very difficult to sell properties for huge markups unless you have something extremely strategic and valuable and iconic. Please give this video a like, leave us any comments or questions below, and don't forget to subscribe.